just me. Kelly just ran to the toilet. Do you believe it? All right. Hello, everyone. This is going to be our first live stream ever. Tartaria, Australia. So hello. Who have we got here? Gunslinger. Hello. Pima. Nicole. Michelle L. Charlie's Kitchen. Hartman's Art. Frank. Mad Maxibon. 17 Joy. John Chesworth. Higher Ashanti. X Gateway. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Is the sound good? Let me know if the sound's good. Hello, Free Guy Goddess. Oh my gosh, that's right. Kelly's actually here. Miss Katie, Corey, Stephen Lynch. Hello to everyone. Nicole and anyone I missed. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, hello. I've never done this before. Thanks, man.
Yes. So we didn't do a show yesterday. We broke out Friday night.
Commitment.
And we got 3 in a row, but we got a bit busy. Taking the dome down, moving from the farm, driving 5 hours with a big full trailer.
Yep.
And now we're up in the mountains.
We've arrived in Mullaney and we've been sitting in an empty house with a computer and nothing around us, apart from a few things.
No, we've got a Crystal Palace in the background, which is always nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's really nice up here. So let us know if you're from around this area too. Magic, hello. Jane, hello. Giri, Gerod, Gerol, how do I say that? Geroli, something like that. Kenzie, flower photos, dragonfly. Anyway, everyone, hello.
I'm not even used to this. So what do? You're just looking at the comments?
So we're just talking to people. So give us, what have you been thinking around this last week?
Oh, what have I been thinking about? Well, what have I
been
I've been thinking about moving. I've been thinking about taking the dome down and just getting ourselves here. It's been a big friggin' week. I feel like it never stops being a big week.
No.
Man. So yeah, we've made the move to Mullaney. We love it here. This actually came off the back of one of our shows, which we'd never been here before. And yeah. We saw it and thought, this place is excellent. Cool. It's like sophisticated Hippiesville. It's got like the highest concentration of co-ops in Australia, which says a lot. It's all organic and there's farmland everywhere. There's dairy farms up the road. It's cool. It's
awesome. Yeah. We're out in the country, but like 5 minutes or 4 minutes from town. So it's cool. And we spent the day driving around the Sunshine Coast. Where did we go? What were those markets?
Umundi
markets.
Yep, they were rad.
They were awesome.
Really good. And Maroochydore,
yeah.
I mean, all these other places I don't remember.
No, but all very cool, all along the coast. It's really, really cool place up here.
Yeah, we've decided New South Wales sucks based on a few qualities, which is mainly the local councils.
Yes.
And the RTA.
Yes.
And all the areas in life that confine you, basically.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see a cop car at all today. We didn't like they're ever in New South Wales. They're shocking. So we're hoping that not that any government's good, but they're a bit better up here. But then I'm only here for 5 days, and I'm off to Perth for a couple of months.
Yeah, he's out of here.
New year, man.
He's out of here.
I'm out of here.
I'm gonna be sad.
Yes.
Lost my playmate.
Yeah, man. The time is
so,
over.
I guess like this is your opportunity, whoever's on the chat, to ask us anything you want, and particularly me, because this is not a normal thing that I do, and and here we are. So yeah, if you guys have got any questions, I mean, Cam and I've been going through obviously the fast, and we've done we were on the whole parasite movement. Like, man, yeah, last show was excellent, talking about this link between cats and ancient Egypt and pharaohs, and the more and more we get into it, the more and more convinced I am that the origin of all of this started in ancient Egypt.
Yeah, you're right into the cats and the cat, snake, serpent kind of link. Which is an interesting one, right? Like cats are the only, like domestic cats are the only felines that hiss. And so
yes, hello, snakes and cats. They're the only hissers.
And the slitted eyes.
Slitted eyes. And don't get us wrong, okay, because I love cats, and I've had a cat that's 19 years old. She's been with me the longest of all my pets. She passed last year. So we're not in a cat bashing session.
No, I've
No,
had
no.
cats all my life.
Yeah. But we are in a, like, where did these parasites get in? What was the entrance to that experience, and how long has it been going on? And how much of this word demon or demonic, this whole sense of demonic energy, has actually originates from parasites within us, not without us, which is classic planet Earth.
So I'm reading the. I'm reading if there's any questions.
I mean, like, but classic planet Earth, right? That we all, like, we have to go through so much deprogramming to stop actually focusing on the external world, as if all of the shit that they focus us in is like up there, out there, big scary aliens, big scary demons, big scary gods, jealous lords, you know, fucking Nephilim and all this stuff out. You know, space, all of it.
Yeah, the alien invasion is from within, right?
From with fucking in, man. So, yeah, I mean, the parasite thing. So this week, I guess I went deep diving on the relationship between cats and snakes. And it's so interesting because, of course, we had to ask the question, you know, what about tobacco? What about marijuana? Like those two things that, you know, seem to be a positive element of the COVID process. Like there was that whole conversation about the jab having snake venom in it.
Yep, and nicotine receptors.
And nicotine receptors blocking that. And then the whole like discussion with the whole kids wanting to be cats and dogs, which is just like the weirdest thing. We did a whole show on that. It's so freaking weird.
Yeah, that's why they got banned.
Yeah.
Kids can't talk about it, which is interesting. Why can't you talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, interesting, right? Like, it's, so it's, you know, Dean, I was singing as well, like, what's that show with the Golden Compass on his darker...
Oh, yeah, Dark Matter.
His darker, they have demons.
They do, demons.
Demons. Yeah, which are like little animals that run around.
Yes.
As their...
I mean, and it's just fucking weird, don't you think, that, like, the ancient Egyptian culture, like, got around with all these animal heads. Like, why would you create an idea of this sexy, feline cat woman? Where does that even come from? I mean, you'd think that if we were just to take Egypt from just like standard, how we've learned about it at school, it's highly advanced civilization with these pharaoh beings with these big cone heads. Oh, that's the other thing. The pharaohs and their big cone heads, and how that then transcended to like the royal families with their cone shape, and all the bloodlines with their big cone shaped heads. Yeah. Into the clown conversation.
We listened to Jay Dreamer's last interview with Understanding Conspiracy, who's the Nephilim Clowns guys. And we were thinking about that, and like the Egyptians used to cover their skin in talc. And that's where talcum powder comes from, right?
Yeah,
talc.
And makeup.
Yeah, and so they made themselves white.
Which is weird.
Which is a trait that I don't know what his name is, but the Understanding Conspiracy guy. He says that's one of the things, right? White skin. Clowns paint themselves white, red hair. And what was the other one there was one other link too.
Well, cats are clowns and cobras is the question of the day, people.
Cats,
clowns and cobras.
That's right.
What do they all have in common? And it seems to be parasites running through them, because like we've loved the clown conversation. We've done a show on it like ages ago, and it's just such a fascinating link. And if you haven't checked out that link, it's just called Nephilim and Clowns. But like they're basically identifying that the depiction of demons is depicted in our tribal cultures into our modern day cultures as basically clowns with the white skin, right down to the indigenous Australians with their version of the demon, which was a white faced, no mouth, red hair like being. It's weird how you're looking at the screen.
Sorry, well, I'm oh, look at this.
What?
I don't know, someone came up.
Oh, things are happening over there.
How do I have to click on my screen. So we've got two computers running here. I can't bring up.
Oh, look, it's saying that I have to speak quieter because there's an echo. Oh, because I don't have my headphones on. Because we're in some weird...
The midnight sun is going here now, so we don't have sun, sort of. North Cape. Where's North Cape? Whereabouts is that? And thank you. Is that 100 knock? Thank you. Girolgia. I'm sorry, I can't even say your name. That's so rude of me. But thank you for your kind donation.
So,
Oh, McDonald. There we go. Yes.
it's that I'm echoing because of there are no
Yes,
headphones.
the house is empty.
And the house is empty. Is that better? I'm just speaking now really quietly. Is that helping the situation? Everyone?
So I'm just cats, clowns, cobras, and coppers. Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Be entertaining, woman.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, it's weird.
Oh, sorry,
This is
I
a
keep
weird
finishing.
dynamic.
It is.
I'm not used to this. Usually I'm speaking to you about things, but I don't want to be too loud or too echoey. But anyway, yes. So we were looking at this relation between cats and cobras and ancient Egypt. And then we were just looking at the clown situation, how those two come together and how they link. And gosh, it's interesting as a topic. So yeah, so parasites are definitely a freaky, trippy little new realm to enter into our reality. So far the theory is that there was ancient Egypt is essentially the remains of Atlantis, and Atlantis may be we're not even sure how much of a physical place that was or not, or is. But anyway, and that there was some sort of stargate or portals that were utilized in ancient Egypt. And this could have brought in the parasitic energies, like on a lot of the sci-fi shows that we see. And those parasitic energies ended up being carried in cats and...
Yeah, that'd just be the vehicle for them, right? Because they happen to be the right
So
makeup or whatever, or
even though cobras aren't they don't carry the parasite, the all parasites kind of look like cobras, like worms.
they're
that's like the mother of the parasite. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And then we've got we've got all these cats that were basically placed in people's homes as pets, and we have evermore had that situation.
Yeah, and they're not, useful as far as they don't, all dogs start off as work dogs. Like they had a use, they were used for things to work. Cats are the opposite. Like we work for them, right? So we've got this sort of pet that has gone worldwide, but why? Like, what's the usefulness of it? You have to look after the cat, right? Whereas a dog will look after you and protect you. So it's an interesting one. But again, we're not against cats. We're just throwing out questions, and Egypt seems that seems to be the start of something, at least the story, right? His story that they tell us. So and we do have this connection with all these wormholes, right?
Yeah, wormholes. That was a trip as well.
Stargates and wormholes, worms.
Hey, Kim, Tassie girl, Kim. Is that the Tassie girl that hung out at all our live events with us? Because we were just talking about you tonight. We were just thinking, where's that Tassie girl? We want to know if you know any film, what do you call them? Cameramen, film people who know how to take video. I'm going to Tasmania at the end of October, not to do Tartaria Australia yet, that's next year, but to do Vegetable Disclosure, the documentary I'm working on about the horrible state of our food chain. If anyone in Tasmania knows of any cool filmmakers, I'd love to know their names. So anyway, it's this whole process with the live is really weird and interesting, because I'm not actually talking to Campbell. I'm just talking out there.
Yeah. It's a weird.
Maybe I'm really bad at lives.
Yeah, maybe you are.
This could be the case, everyone. I actually could be bad at this whole genre.
Could be your Achilles heel.
Could not be my thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought it'd be more interactive now. We'd be going for it.
Well, no one's asking me any questions. Come on, come up some questions, people.
Yeah. Ask away questions. What was I just reading? Oh yes, cats. I mean, yes. Cats obviously are good companions, loving all that, but the point was that they don't, dogs literally had jobs, right? There were guard dogs, there were hunting dogs, there were sheep dogs, shepherds, all these kind of things. So we're not hating on cats. but we are, you know,
All right, so
fast forward the thing that's the how are we putting forward the theory that they could be the carriers of a parasite, and a good way to get them spread far and wide, you know.
for all time, all the way through to current day, hardcore.
Yeah, and then to like deify them as well, like they did in the Egyptian times. They had cat, you know, goddesses, and then there's obviously the link to the whole sex and corn thing, you know, with cats and different names for them. It's just an interesting. And then if you look into, you know, evil, you know, and elites and all these kind of people, the elites and the demons, they're into that, you know, the whole sex thing as well. Like there's all these links through there is what we're trying to say. Like we've sort of done a bit of searching, and there seems to be links that this could be a, you know, a way to get the parasites spread out. And then we're talking on the trip or sometime today, and I was thinking, you know, the world's gone crazy, right? What do we call it? Clown world. And when we're just listening to the Nephilims look like clowns, and clearly people are going crazy. Like, is this like when the parasites hit like a, you know, a mass sort of certain number, right? The 100th monkey, if you want, and they get more intelligent, or they can get more control over people, because the world's gone crazy, right? It's clown world. The Nephilims are clown world, is what it is. What are you reading now?
I have to speak quieter.
You have to speak quieter?
Yes.
What about me? Did anyone
It's
say?
too echoey, I think.
Do I sound okay? Am I good? I think most beings, my question is about antidotes. Oh my gosh. So this is the thing. And 200 of you watching, thank you all for being here. We're trying to be entertaining, but we're teaching Kelly how to live stream at the moment. Pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is just as a weird coincidence, right? Catholic is Catholic, which is interesting. Someone just posted that, but it is actually really hard to talk and to read these. So should we just talk?
Well, what do you normally do?
Well, I just normally start talking, and then I go, oh my God, I've been talking for 2 hours.
Really? So are you talking on anything particular, or just bantering about shit?
Probably just bantering about shit.
Really? I've never watched that.
People.
Wow, I don't know why.
Well, come on.
What do you banter about?
Interesting things.
That's
clearly people tune in to hear my interesting things.
All right. Okay. Go on then.
And my perspective on
Go on. Hit me with some interesting things.
Interesting things. That's an interesting thing that's happened. So we're totally unprepared.
Well, I would like to talk about the real, but actually, I don't know if I'm speaking too loudly. So now I'm whispering.
Yeah, no, that's another good link. Talk about the real.
Yeah, okay, so this is fucking weird, right? So I went on to chat, and I was talking about cats and snakes and pharaohs in Egypt. And then for whatever reason, it took me to this, I was talking about the very first publications or the very first movies that mentioned parasites. And then it took me onto the very first book that mentioned parasites, apart from like any sort of medical book, but fictional stories. Started in sort of the mid-1800s, but one of those was an anonymous book, and it was called, I don't recall it was The Vril. I don't know if it was called The Vril, but it was basically about the Vril, which was an underground civilization here on Earth, and they basically had this magnetic energy substance that they would utilize and harness and put them into staffs and wands, and it was basically the vril. That's what they called the vril energy, and it had the power to destroy worlds or to heal worlds, depending on the intention of these. And it created a telepathic link. So the whole culture was telepathic. So that was really weird, and so that came out of. So I was wanting to know if the cat and the snake were manifestations of the vril civilization. Essentially, the civilization under us right now, according to this anonymous book that came out in the 1800s. And then, so, because, we've all heard about the vril, right? And the vril has been captured a lot in the truth community, like, and the sort of black eye club and the shit going into their eyes. And, at that point, you've, like, taken on board, like, the mothership of parasites. Like, you're in the holy land of parasites. You're like, somewhere up in the pyramid land of the parasites, not under the pyramid, like, where we all are, being free and parasite free if we choose to be free of them. But as soon as you move up that pyramid of our reality, I assume that the parasites get more powerful, more conscious, more sort of like protected, as in like the bloodlines are protecting them. So they're not like, they're protecting their vehicles and they're protecting the parasite that's in the vehicles. And there's like bloodlines of parasites. So it's interesting that they talk about bloodlines and how parasites and bloodlines are sort of the one thing. And they're very like, that whole eat human baby, terrified baby blood genre. Like that sounds like such a parasitic desire that would come from a very top end, conscious, powerful parasitic energy.
Mm.
Yeah, so I was looking at that. So then I was asking about cats and cobras and the vril. And interestingly, when this came out in the 1800s, apparently it went off. This book went off, and then they created these vril festivals and these vril like showcase exhibitions, and this whole vril thing happened. And that's not even connected with the Vril Society and Hitler. Yeah, this is all independent of that, before any mention of war. And then, but this is the weird thing. This is the thing that fucking got me, of all things. So in England, when I was growing up, every single house had a jar, akin to how in Australia we all have Vegemite. Mm. They all had a jar of this thing called Bovril. Bovril. And it actually, this is trippy, right? It actually came out of this book about the vril in the 1800s. There was a substance in it, like a recipe called Bovril, and it's basically like beef and oxen. It's kind of like what we would refer to as broth. Like you use this like this brown powder and you'd add water, right? And then you'd have this like drink, this beef drink. But it's so weird. So it's like bow, as in oxen, and vril, literally Bovril, right? No, but don't you think that's totally weird? The book, and like out of an anonymous book about this underground society here in Australia came a recipe for this substance that then got sent all over the world. It was in everyone's kitchens. Everyone was using it in the 50s, in the 1800s, 1900s, and then every soldier was given this. This was the food they were given. So that's weird. And then, like, is that how they managed to did they manage to have a parasite in there? Was there some substance in Bovril that actually somehow entered the human race and took away our memories, for example, or mind controlled us, for example, or changed how we were experiencing reality, for example? And that's all our grandparents. That's the time of the orphans.
Oh, Martin Leakey, hello, how are you? Oi, oi.
So yeah, that's a trip. So Bovril, well, if Martin's in, he will understand that Bovril is a thing that you have in England and everyone has it. And yeah, it's just so fucking weird that it came out of this book about the Vril Society, anonymous book.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, you can look that up. Wikipedia it, Bovril and the Vril Society.
Has anyone drunk Bovril?
I'm pretty sure I would have.
Has anyone know any Bovril connoisseurs who drink lots of it, and are they strange?
Well, I'm strange.
You are strange.
Yeah. I would be dead if it wasn't for Bovril. Saved us in the freezing sea.
There you go.
It's a big thing. So Martin Leckie, flat Earth, British legend. Hey, dude, have you heard about this theory about where Bovril came from? About how it actually came from this anonymous book about the Vril Society, about the civilization under our feet. And it said that they would, in the book it said that they would at some point soon take over the Earth realm. They'd take it over because they were going to run out of space.
How would you take it over? I mean, we've been invaded by something, right? Something's trying to take over. Something, some people, who knows? But that's like similar to the Agatha stories and things like this. They talk about them being underground and having this, I don't know, power or energy or something. Even Captain Bird talks about flying into the inner earth and his plane being taken over, and of course the H-man ran around the world in the 30s and 40s, right? And there was a whole Vril society. He was looking for, you know, weapons and all these types of things. So, and then the Vril, the eye parasite that gives you a black eye, right? And the black eye club and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, man, what do you think? And what do you know? Martin, have you looked into the Vril and Bob Vril?
Yeah, I mean,
Bo Vril.
I mean, just as far as, I mean, I'm looking at the tangent of how parasites could have been put into the human race. Like, where did our memories go? Like, if something happened, and then how did we suddenly become so mind controlled and so programmable? And then we now understand that every food they've put in the market since the reset basically has been designed to feed parasites, and that's a fucking fact.
Yeah. A lot of these foods that we take as staples were introduced at the World's Fairs, like, and literal brands that are still around, like from porridge and oats and all this stuff, breads, you know, this gluten and wheat stuff that we know is not good for us. The sugar, the cereals, breakfast cereals. Yeah, man, we're still eating the same stuff pretty much. So, you know, why would they introduce certain foods, right?
And, you know, when we talk about the truth community, like, at the end of the day, we all kind of did something consistent. Like, we started sort of like 20 years ago. Most of us turned from a few things. Most of us turned off the television. Most of us stopped drinking fluoridated water. Most of us became conscious of fluoride in toothpaste. Most of us switched to some form of, you know, tried our best to have an organic type diet that was like, we became conscious of chemicals and GMOs. Most of us started to avoid processed food. Like, and we may not have done this perfectly. And most of us smoke weed and tobacco. So like that is something that's consistent. It feels to this community. And also most of us started to work with natural remedies and therapies. So we started to like turn away from pharmaceuticals, and we started to turn towards, you know, holistic approach to life. Now, just by making those changes when we did, without even realizing it, we would have started to like change the potency. We would have changed the chemical potency of our vehicles to carry parasites. We would have, most of us now understand to be out in the sun and in nature and do grounding and all the frequency tools, like frequency and sound modalities, are really big for killing parasites, even if you don't know you're doing it. So I think that accidentally our community has become the truth community, has become this conscious community by maybe default of like changing how many parasites we have in us.
Changing our body chemistry by what we eat and drink.
And we didn't, most of us stopped doing anything like vaccines or any fucking weird shit when it comes to anything like that. We stopped, most of us. So it does feel like by default the truth community has emerged as a result of potentially fewer and fewer parasites controlling our inner reality or outer reality.
We're going to have to do another show on this, which we're meaning to do. But I actually put into Chat GTP, like, how would a parasite take over the human race, and it will read out what it said. It's pretty interesting stuff. And we know parasites take over the minds of their hosts. You know, some it completely takes them over, and some it just sort of changes them a bit, right? So that they are mind-altering things. So we all know there's something weird going on. Could this be it? And the thing is, they keep pointing to things outside of us, right, all the time. Like, you know, God's outside of you, the Creator's outside of you, but also all the bad stuff's outside of you, and you can't do anything about it, right? It's all demons and devils and space aliens coming to get you, which you can't, like, you know, we can't go out and fix that, can we? Like, it's a problem that you can't fix, which keeps people in a state of fear and anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which makes them more controllable. That they don't think clearly. So it's but that's the thing. They're pointing the finger out there when the problem could be in us, right? It's like the micro macro that we talk about with the the electric circuit. We've got this macro circuit across the earth with all the star forts and the pyramids and the buildings and canals, all that stuff, and then we got the enclosed, right, L circuit, the electricity through in our phones, right, computers. And it's the same kind of thing. There's a macro version and a micro version, and they're making us look at the big thing that we can't fix when all we might need to do is cleanse our parasites, right? That could be the devils, the serpents that need to be cast out.
I'm here. I'm not comfortable. I'm here. I'm here.
You're not there.
No, I'm here. I'm just not comfortable.
Not comfortable.
So I'm around.
Jeez, man. She spent like 20 minutes before the show trying to get the lighting perfect.
I hate it.
She's not happy.
No, I'm not comfortable.
She's not comfortable. Oh my God, she'll be back hopefully with a comfortable chair. What's everyone saying? A hierarchy is just a fancy word of saying parasite Ponzi scheme. Yeah, man. Wheaties, how I roll. So John. Adam Forrest, hello. Greetings from South Africa. Love the energy you two bring. Mental, spiritual, and physical gifts are for the whole if they choose to see, hear, and AI. Yes. Thank you very much.
Just checking. This is fun. I can push him around.
Hello, GB Packins. Thanks for being here. Someone USD cast Kelly out. What? Someone, yes. Kelly's doing, oh.
What?
Oh my gosh, now she's having
I'm ascending, shut up.
She's ascending by the fire. What's your thoughts on vapes and tobaccos? I think vapes are probably bad, and at least as bad as cigarettes that have got chemicals on them. But I think organic tobacco is fine. I think it's all it's like anything, right? It's like the food is not the problem. It's all the chemicals they spray on it. Same with tobacco, but they put tobacco up or at least in New South Wales, and every pack,
Tell them the story.
Every
this
pack
is
went
terrible.
up. It's terrible, Muriel. Every brand went up about $2 or $3, but the organic brand Manitou went up. It was over $30.
Yep.
It went from $73 or something to $100, and all the ones that are sprayed with chemicals only went up $2 or something. So that's interesting, isn't it?
No parasites.
No parasites, right? Yeah, man. And this is the thing. It's obviously taken off, and they don't want people, smoking the stuff that's not going to kill them. It's not bad and covered in chemicals.
It could actually kill parasites.
And it could kill parasites.
I mean, there's a
Nature helps me with demons, yeah, man.
Hello. There's a reason. No, I'm just here. It's the green screen. Maybe you should take that off.
Should we take it off?
If you take off that, maybe that will change everything. I don't know where the mouse is. But if we take off this Crystal City, you're going to see our empty lounge room.
Empty lounge room. Hang on. What do I do? Virtual background. Oh.
Yeah, see, look at that. Doesn't that look different? Yeah, so this is the only furniture we have in the whole house.
Whoa.
We have a lounge and I got a rug.
There you are.
I'm big on Persian rugs. But
Yes.
I'm still at the fire. So I'm here.
Wormwood. Yes, great for parasites, definitely. We're probably, Kelly said she was going to get one, but yeah, I think we're both going to get a rice machine and try that out.
That's the next move.
Yeah. Frequency. Definitely.
Because guys, if we can deal with this parasite issue, that's like the next thing. I think that's the next fucking thing. Being free at the bottom of the pyramid, which we all are. I think we're the only ones that are free of parasites. And we get taxed for that, by the way. We get taxed because we haven't taken the parasite, man. Everything good for us is more expensive. It's really hard to be healthy. It's all very expensive. We get taxed. If it isn't carrying a parasite, you have to pay more money for it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. If it's It's
That's
true. The
fucking crazy.
cheapest food is the crappiest food, right? We know this. They call it junk food. And that's the stuff that all the parasites love. We haven't found a fluoride connection yet. Obviously, they tell us fluorides to kill everything like that that's waterborne. But
They were experimenting with that, the Nazi caps.
Yeah, well, yes.
It's nuts.
But how true is
we're
all
not even
that?
sure
Yeah,
about the whole
exactly,
Nazi German thing.
We don't. It's hard to speculate on so many things
Yeah.
these days.
Anything that has a history of history. It's a parasitic story. So the parasites have written a story. Oh my God.
And what do parasites do, right? They suck the life out of their host, and that's how they sustain themselves. I mean, what do the parasites who rule us do?
Yep.
They do that to us and to Mother Earth, right? They literally, that's why they call parasites, right? All the bankers and politicians and stars and that, because they parasite off us. They do the same thing as a parasite, because that's the same thing. Hello, Hippie Shake. Thanks for being here as always. How many people we got? 260 of you, 65. Thanks for being here with us. We hope we're being entertaining. It's very, very live and uncultured.
So this parasite topic is fascinating to me because I feel like if the truth community, or if I don't know about the truth community, there's a lot of dodgy shit out there, but our community, even if you're a dodgy, you're still here and we love that. Yes, spooky too, right? If I agree, that's the one we've been looking at, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that this is the next thing, right? We've quit the fluoride, we've quit the TV, we've quit the junk food, we've quit the sugar, we've fasted, which is like the major way to kill them all. And then, our community to get into fasting and parasite cleansing, fuck man, we're almost free. That's what it feels like to me. Like we would almost be free. Finally, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if that was, I mean, they've been linking it to cancers. We listen to a good podcast on, they link it to a lot of different diseases. Mental health.
All cancers. They link parasites to all cancers. And that's fucked because I've just watched my best friend die of stomach cancer. So oh my God. So that's why none of their stupid cures work. Like radiating, that's not designed to kill parasites.
No, it kills everything.
When we were at the hospital dealing with my friend who was passing at this point, like they told her to take the jab. 3 jabs while she was on chemo. I yelled and screamed, no one listened to me, so I shut up. But yep, that's what, and her diet for the time she was on chemo was like ice cream. It was really ridiculous shit food, unbelievable. Like this is why the doctors never take into nutrition.
Yeah. I think they get 3 hours of nutrition training in 6 years, 5 years of uni or something.
So they're never treating the actual problem.
No.
So most of our illnesses and diseases could be resolved with frequency.
Yeah.
Which we've all kind of known forever, but this is very specific.
Yeah, and it could, it's the parasites, getting rid of the parasites, so it gets rid of all the other, because it's the cause, right? Everything else it's causing all these different diseases and things that people get, mental, fog and mental issues. So if we can get rid of that. And on that topic, we've got to get it sorted, but yes, we might do our first group fast.
Yeah, we like that idea.
Yeah. So we put out a week ago or so and got some good feedback. So
all we're kind of thinking is we would just spend 8 days with the group that decides to fast together, and every morning we'd come on and do this in a more controlled environment because I don't like this, but this, and do one in the morning and one in the evening for 8 days. So we're kind of with you guys. You can, if you're freaking out or anything, we're there. We can to have a chat about it and just get you through to day 8. Be your team squad, your cheer squad, man. Going, man, this is amazing. You guys are all going to blow all this fucking shit out of your bodies, Literally. And what does it actually mean? I mean, ultimately, it means that you are going to move up in frequency. If you have got parasites, and I'm pretty sure I had them, and I'm pretty sure we all had them. And there could be, we know the worms. There's a lot of worms everywhere, parasites. But then we've got the cat. The cat thing's massive. It's apparently 1 in 3 in people's brains have this.
But then we've got all the food too. Is it in the food? We've seen the Coke on the pork and all that. But every type of food, if you look into it, there's there's parasites and stuff in there, man. Like, so it's kind of unavoidable, but what we can do is just get rid of them, right? You know, keep cleansing ourselves and making our vessel, our temple, uninhabitable for the demons.
I know. And this whole thing has been excellent because, you know, Campbell and I, we were our most positive our most positive podcast ever, because we were both in a very chirpy, tippy mood after the fast. And what it came down to is us realizing from a new perspective that actually where we currently stand on this pyramidic, parasitic organizational structure that is our reality is in the best position ever. That we're what appears to be, well, we're told that we're the most enslaved. We're told, and it does appear that way with tax, with the money side of things, we do get enslaved that way, but we are basically told that we're enslaved and that there's like all these rulers and leaders and authority above us. But in actual reality, we are the freest. We are the ones that can 100% make choices freely to do so. And we can keep our moral virtues intact. But you keep going up that pyramid, your moral virtues get totally destroyed and corrupted, and the parasites get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get less and less of it until essentially you turn into an archon.
Yeah,
because to me, that's what an archon is.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's an archon to me is a vessel that's been completely taken over. So up at the top of the parasite. So when we say archons, to me, they're just gone up closer to the top of the pyramid. Completely no sovereignty at all.
No, it's all inverted. It's all, but that's the game, right? They tell us we're slaves. Everyone, you know, acts like slaves, right? But we've got more freedom than anyone. You know, sure, there's tax and things, but you know, if enough of us wake up, we can get rid of that. But it's also we've got to focus on things we can change. Like individually, we can't go out and change the tax system of our countries, right? That's something we can work towards. But we can clean out our system, right? And this is the game. They always want us to focus on something that we can't actually change ourselves. And so it keeps us in this state, this perpetual state of anxiety and fear and all this, you know, guilt and crap, and makes us controllable.
Look at your scary shirt.
Yeah, man, it's Medusa
Fucking
with all
mate, you fucking got snakes all over you right now.
Parasites coming out
Jesus,
everywhere.
boy.
The head, right? Out of the
Fucking
head.
hell.
Yeah,
And that has Medusa, you know, conceptually.
Tennessee, man.
Yeah, about all the snakes coming out of the head. I mean, that's exactly what the pharaohs had. They all have the cobra, like the big cobra head pieces, and the snake coming out of their heads. Yeah, I mean,
out of her head.
Fully. So basically,
Infested.
maybe the snake is a fully realized parasite.
Well, did you know that? I wonder what salt does to parasites, because salt was like basic currency. It was like money back in the day.
Yeah.
It was prized, right? Is that because I wonder what the connection there is? I have to look into that.
Yeah. Well,
salt for the earth people.
And
right?
Of course, they took away all the bells.
The bells,
so the bells
the
are a big one
frequency,
because we all knew
organs.
that was a frequency issue. So they took away all of that, and then they corrupted all the water, which carries harmonics, and then they corrupted the oceans, Noah's flood. Then they corrupted Noah's flood.
Yeah. That's where he started pumping all the effluent.
Yep.
Into the rivers, into the waterways.
And then they went after all the
breeding grounds.
They went after all the dolphins and the whales. And the dolphins and the whales carry the frequency of the oceans.
Well, and just the noises they make are a high frequency, right? So that's another thing we could look into. But yeah, I mean, this is what's happening. Like all these things that are being done to us. And we're like, why are they doing this? I mean, there's obviously got to be a reason, right? And it just makes sense that it's because it's an attack on our physical body and our spiritual and everything, right? So they get the body that's, you know, in the right chemistry to be a good host.
Yep.
Right, so that the parasites can spread and get bigger and stronger. Then they attack our minds and they give us all these, everything's outside of you. You know, you can't save yourself, and get our focus in the wrong direction and get us confused. And this is the thing. This is how they control us. So imagine if we could cleanse the whole world. Right? Imagine if we just need the 101st monkey to have a parasite cleanse.
Yeah, I mean, like what happens when half of the what do you call us? The enslaved race at the bottom of the pyramid, the plebs.
The plebs.
The
free ones. The sovereign.
The sovereigns, but we're not all sovereign. Like half of them aren't sovereign. but like whatever the percentages of those who didn't, do the thing and like have spent 20 years accidentally like clearing a path in their vessel away from parasites. Like how many of us to wake up to all of this and free our complete body and to maintain that ritual, to like maintain cleanness there, cleaning the vessel all the time, cleaning the vessel with fasting and parasite cleanses all the time and making sure you die. What happens then? Who do we become?
Well, this is the thing. Is this how we ascend, right? Or, everyone keeps talking about ascension or whatever's going to happen to the new earth, blah, blah, blah. But is that going to happen because we're going to have our own thoughts back? We're not going to be controlled from within anymore, right? Because that's the biggest thing to realize is like parasites literally control thoughts. Like they can control your thoughts, your actions.
And your sexual
and
energy,
even some kind, I guess that's like pheromones and stuff. They can make you more attracted to the opposite.
They'll make you have sex with people you'd never have sex with. That's how strongly these parasites can, impact
influence
on us.
You. Yeah,
my God, imagine that. Imagine you going on dates and being attracted to people you would never independently be attracted to, and then having sex with them because that's what the parasite wants.
Yeah, so it can spread and reproduce.
It's fucking trippy, man. And they've made so many movies about this. So many books have been written about it. So much popular culture, so much imagery. We've been bombarded with imagery about parasites.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, all space alien, horror type movies, they're all parasites, right? All parasitic things. There's just heaps of, like iconography and stuff about worms and pupa things that are sort of these queen reproducers and stuff. It's
So this is the next thing. So if I trace my journey through this whole community, this lifetime, it started like way back with fluoride, probably fluoride and toothpaste and fluoride in the water. Then it moved to it moved into David Icke's work, and then it moved into GMOs, and then it moved into so we just and now this must be the next one: parasite cleanses and fasting.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, right? Because a lot of people call them reptiles and all these things, serpents, but maybe that's just because they're full. They're not serpents; they're a bag of serpents. This is the thing. And what we have all these words: serpent. I haven't even looked into the etymology, but it's not snake, right? Does it actually mean the same thing? Because we have all these terms that we just are told mean certain things, but we don't know that that's what their etymology is, do we?
No.
Like serpent could literally mean, who knows, right? Demon or parasite. We have all these, so we don't have, it's...
And then the Vatican is full of giant snakes.
Interesting.
The Vatican's gone into the worship of the cobra and the snakes, and we see snakes in hell. And then we've got the pharaohs with the snakes and the snakes in their hat and the snakes, the cobra, like big yellow things. And we've got, so anyway, has anyone got any thoughts on this? Cats, cobras, and clowns. Clowns are just excellent and well worth having a look into, but that's not our work. We attribute that to...
understanding conspiracies.
Yeah.
We actually listened to one today. He's been on that path for 8 years. We listened to his first ever sort of Nephilim clowns video today. So it's got a lot of good stuff. So go check him out.
Yes.
He is Christian, but don't hold that against him. He's a nice guy.
I know. The Christian thing, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I can't help it. What do you guys think? I think that religions are parasitic mind control programs. That's what I think they are. I think that this whole concept of God outside of you, this whole concept of the masculine God, the father figure, all of that in every religion, even in Buddhism. Buddhism's the worst because it's the most secret version of this. But I just think you have to have a parasite in you, particularly attuned to religion. And that maybe that's what they were doing with the mummified cats. They were like genetically specializing and modifying parasites to do certain things to the humans. One of those introduced religion. If they can make you actually have sex with people that you wouldn't actually want to have sex with normally, which is a pretty big thing because that's like taking over your whole sensory experience. Like that's a massive thing. So if they can pull that, one parasite can pull that off, imagine what else they can do.
Wow, it's interesting. Imagine how many affairs have happened and these people are like, I don't know what came over me. Like, you hear it all the time. Maybe they literally didn't. Maybe it was, you know, they were being controlled.
Yep, and you know that during COVID, you know that there was lots of helicopters spotted all around the road dropping mosquitoes.
Yes.
Like fucking shitloads of mosquitoes, millions of mosquitoes.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, and they tell us it's Bill Gates and their GM, their genetically modified mozzies, which is just a flying syringe, right? And definitely carry parasites and inject them. Malaria is one, isn't it, that comes from parasites. So,
well, malaria is a virus. But parasites.
What do mosquitoes give people?
Yeah, viruses. But that's just one that we know. I mean, you know, they were genetically modifying mosquitoes. Why couldn't they be carrying something else?
But do viruses even exist?
That's true. Do viruses even exist? That's a very fair question. And, you know, potentially it's just parasitic.
Yeah. So, well, like cancer. Does cancer exist?
Yeah, well,
apparently
not.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Diabetes.
Oh, yeah. All this stuff like ADD, ADHD, all these things that they use to put kids and people on pharmaceuticals. Yeah. Which then again, they acidify your body, you know, I mean, antibiotics, it means against life, against biology, right? Hello.
Yep.
You know, what are they doing all this for? What's the end game? Is it, I mean, it's a takeover, right? But by who and by what? And if it was a parasite, how would that do it? I mean, I think a lot of the points we've made like point to the fact that this is what a parasite would do. Yeah, cancer is supposedly a parasite. Yes, I agree. Well, that's all they say. They found these like little ringed parasites in all these cancer cells. So, of course, this is stuff that never gets out to the public as well, right?
You know, I was watching this other random thing, and it was very funny. I wish I'd posted it. Maybe I did. But it was basically some guy just watching. You know, those ones where they watch other clips. They just watch them.
Oh, yeah. Reviews or whatever. He
was watching this one about underground sea creatures, like crazy motherfucking underground sea creatures that exist that we don't know anything about.
Underground or underwater?
I'm sorry, underwater. And like, I swear to God, one of them looked like Predator from Aliens.
Yeah.
One of them looked like the alien from Aliens. You know, they were all horrifying and terrifying, and they all are in our ocean, and we have no idea about it, but they all look like giant parasites. Like, it's just weird.
Thank you very much, Kimmer. $10. You know, doing good, guys. Let's get along with everyone regardless of voice. I agree. Yes, no, we don't. Yeah, yes, that's what we agree. And thank you very much for your.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong about me bagging out religion. I'm bagging out religion, not the person.
Yeah, it's the
I'm bagging out the parasite, not the carrier.
Yeah. It's not. I think that obviously the message of Jesus is good, but it's the businesses that are built up behind them that claim to be, you know, I don't know, a pathway to God that we don't agree with, and you know, but you know, if you do, then that's fine. You know, we don't mind.
But it would be interesting to start fasting.
Yes, well, I was going to say someone said something about Ross River virus and it's carried by mosquitoes, and you've got a Ross River virus.
Yeah, I got that like I don't know, it must have been 8-10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they dropped massive mosquitoes, the whole region got it. And that's right. Everyone went down with it. It was really intense. Like, I woke up with all of my joints. It was like every single joint was sprained. So I couldn't even cut a lemon. My wrists were so sprained. My ankles, it was terrible. And I didn't know what had happened. Like, I was just, the day before I was running around like a fucking maniac, building some shed. And then the next day I couldn't move and I didn't know what had happened. It fucking freaked me out. But I had to I never go to the doctor. So then I just started hearing everyone else is sick. And then, you know, the grapevine of country living, and everyone's gone down with Ross River fever. But everyone went down. We all went down really hard. And I just did my thing, which was to take myself out in the bush and fast. I fasted for 7 days, and then I drank 2 bottles of colloidal silver. And I came out of it, and everyone else got chronic fatigue and stayed there for years. It suffered for years. So fasting. So I thought I was fasting the sickness out, but actually I was probably killing the fucking goddamn parasite.
Parasite. Yeah. And then you still got joint pain, didn't you? And then on the last fast, that went away, didn't
it did. Yeah.
So it's interesting,
Fasting
right?
is just it's a fucking thing. It's a thing, everyone. You got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah. I mean.
So yeah, we're gonna put up a link sometime
the next show.
When Kelly has time to do it on the website, so that anyone who wants to do a fast, we won't do this one with you because we just did 19 days. But we think we'll do a couple a year at least, and next time we'll do it with you. We'll fast with you, but this time we'll set something up so we have like a Zoom in the morning and in the Arvo, and we get a group together and we can all go through it and support each other and do it together, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming up.
Because once we've fasted and we've like got onto this parasite thing, and like, you know, like who knows what's next after that? Because I feel like we're getting closer.
Thank you, Kimmer, again.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're getting closer. You know, on that note, how's the wars? All they did was drop fucking crazy experimental,
like Agent Orange
all sorts
and
of
all
things.
the gases and chemicals.
And they always give soldier vaccines. They always put things into the soldiers. Always.
Yeah, man, guinea pigs.
Yeah, and there's this whole we also watched this whole clip about nanotech. Also, so that parasites have morphed or have been connected with the AI now. So the parasites invaded. It's invaded enough humans to control the humans to then generate the physical creation of technology, given them all the information, and then AI is being presented, and they have brought together the AI and the parasite consciousness into a biological nanobot.
Yeah. That was on that Stu Peterson, was it? Is that who it was? Who was interviewing all these doctors? And yeah, I mean, what's all CERN about, right? Everyone's been saying is to bring demons through, right? But then, you know, what's a demon, right? If it's a parasite, then is that what's going on? Is that just the way that it spreads? It's some kind of consciousness, obviously.
They're bringing parasites through. Yeah, and so now parasites can morph with AI, so it can now control an entirely upgraded vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then it doesn't have to invade anything, right? It can have the perfect environment, and plus it can have much more control and take on a thing. So it's not prison planet, guys. It's parasite planet.
Parasite planet,
which is much better because you might not be able to escape from prison, but you can get rid of your parasites.
Well, we can. We can.
Yes.
The plebs can. We can. Yes.
Can.
So I was about to say, what were we just talking about? What did you just talk about?
Parasites.
Yes. What was the last thing? Shit. What did he say?
Hello. What did I say?
AI. We're talking about AI. Parasites.
Oh shit! What did I say?
Oh, Campbell.
Oh.
What about this? Right. This would mean This would actually mean that ChatGPT.
Oh yes.
Is a parasite. And the internet has become parasitic. You would agree with that. And the innovations of the last couple of years since the parasite has morphed with the AI has basically destroyed everything, meaning social media has completely kidnapped the lives of our children. Social media has completely wiped out a generation. It's completely wiped out their whole socializing, their whole ability. They're now all owned by and focused on and wiring and firing with this parasitic technology. Their brainwaves are now engaged and entwined in phones. Where we're the last generation, probably the one under. We met a very cool 20-year-old today who was that generation and us, we grew up without it, so we have only used it as adults. But when you grow up with it and it's wiring and firing as you're developing, and that parasites, do you guys remember all that information that came out showing kids growing like like a second spinal, like something in there, like a hook in their spine.
Oh yeah,
like,
something about that.
Because they're leant over like
they're
this. So it's creating this like new growth in their back, like, and that they're the blue light.
Yeah.
The blue light's morphing into their neuropathways, and the brain capacity is changing, and they're becoming unempathetic.
Yeah.
And they're not developing compassion and empathy because they're not interacting with real faces. They're just on the screen all the time. Like, because of all those ways, you would say that social media and the phone, the smartphone, is a parasitic innovation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and all these filters, right? Like, they're literally not seeing real people on the screen, and then of course they think that means that they're weird or ugly because everyone else's filters, right? They're not even real. And so you get all these very anxious, you know, especially girls, right? I guess teenage girls, but just, you know, young people in general. They're trying to compete with something again, right? That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same kind of stuff they used on us, just a lot more intense, right?
Yeah, because as we were growing up, all our eyes were put on this external world. That the powers, it's all out there. All the fears, all the stresses, all the evils, all the power out there. They're not only out there, but they're in here. So they're like even one stage further away than we were. So they're not looking even up here in the outside world anymore. They're looking at the copy of the copy of the fake outside world. So now they're like 2 more steps removed from the inner world. And that's one of the things that social media has done.
Kimmer, thank you again. You don't have to keep giving me money, but thank you very much. Yep, I'm Orange Agent Ida Rupi. Well, thank you very much for that. Wow, thank you very much. We're glad you're enjoying the show. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, we're not doing that well at actually reading them. But
just put them in capitals. If you actually have a question,
that's a good one.
Write it in capitals.
Capital letters, and stand out.
But hey, excuse me, this is a good thought. Like, young people today are 2 steps back from where we were in connecting with their inner world. That's why they seem so fucked up to us. So they're so much more removed from being able to go inside and sit in peace and silence and quietness and patience within their own world, and to find their core and their individuality and their sovereignty and their strength of command and their voice and their ability to speak well and to speak with their soul and heart. It's like they are 1 step further removed from what we were.
Yeah.
So that's parasitic, isn't it? To remove you from the source, so that the source energy of you is going out, flooding to other things. It's like the phone, if you seeing it as an electronic parasite, is actually feeding, like the big blue electronic alien coming out of the phone, off the true nature of our young people. And they don't even realize, and they don't even know they're losing it.
Yeah.
Because they're putting it all into here.
Yeah, it's the same as like God, right? Go to church and worship something outside of it and give him money and all this kind of stuff. But now, like, it's attention. That's what this parasite wants, which could be like loose, right? But wants your attention, like, and it's and when you know, these kids are then trying to relate to a world that doesn't even exist. So no wonder they're messed up, right? And thinking they're cats and dogs, but also, you know, like the food that's promoted to them, that a lot of them eat, is just complete parasite food, right?
Yeah.
Do llamas get horny or corny?
Well, it depends what type of llamas you're talking about. If they're llama corns that I paint on Op Shop Arts, they get neither of those things. They don't have that parasite in them. If they're llamas from a Buddhist monastery, they definitely get horny. They're definitely horny. And if they're just non-llama corn llamas, well, you know, they can be corny.
Yeah. Have we heard from the Tartarian truthers?
No. And you know what? Just if anyone's out there, if they're out there, we love the Tartarian truthers. Campbell and I have always really loved their work. We think that their energy and their focus on subjects is fantastic and such a blessing to Australians. Like, it's great that they're there doing that work, because Campbell and I, we go off on fucking loopy tangents now. We're really bad at like just choosing the topics and getting into But Tartaria and Truth is doing an amazing job. And no, I haven't heard from them. And we would love for them to come to the Gospel Glyphs with us. We'd love them to come and do a talk. But I know that my whole maybe stance on parasites and religions may have upset them, maybe, like everyone else.
What was a big part of the reset's a vibrational resonance weapon, which could have cracked the bells, destroyed the drainage grid, liquefied the ground, mud flood. It could be. Yeah, I mean, there's the whole plasma theory, plasma apocalypse, plasma reset. And I mean, most research into resets has got something to do with electricity and energy and plasma,
Well,
which is high vibration.
I have a thought on that.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, like, a lot of, I don't know, I think it's probably from movies. I'm just like relating like all these beastie demons with high pitched screams.
Yeah, they're always in horror movies. They've got heaps of horror movies about high pitched noises that like completely drive you crazy and make your brain explode. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think that's. I think if we had a culture that knew about resonance and vibration and used spells in that way, which it appears we did, then the foe of that, the culture that was trying to take over that, would have a counteractive move on the opposite frequency. And hello, look at the sound of our world right now. It's shit. It's like a low, a low mechanical humming, like this white noise. It's so subtle. It's like the high pitched noise, but like it's like that, but so subtle we can't even recognize it. But it's going on all the time. Just as sitting here in front of these computers, it's happening right now. And we're so lucky because we've still got nature to go to and listen to high frequency sounds. Like birds are amazing. High frequency sounds. Oh my God. The sounds of animals calls, and that's beautiful music. That's beautiful music. Yeah,
but all and the 432, 440 thing, and obviously pop music is crap. But yeah, that's the thing. Like we were definitely using vibrational resonance or frequency to empower ourselves, keep ourselves healthy, but also to keep something away, right? Which could have been these parasites. And of course, they would definitely attack that. Did it cause everything? Who knows?
So I have a question.
What's your question?
For you.
Oh, for me.
Or anyone else. But it is like, just to take it back, take Tartaria. Where do we put Tartaria and ancient Egypt? Oh, because one thing I forgot to mention, guys, was on the Vril conversation on this book, the way they described the Vril civilization underneath us was that it looked like ancient Egypt. That's what they literally said in this book in the 1800s on the Vril. It looked like ancient Egypt. So is that interesting? Yes. So maybe ancient Egypt was actually built by the Vril. Maybe the Vril were the pharaohs. Maybe the pharaohs were something completely different from. I mean, they weren't human.
God kings. Yeah, well, there was some weird heads going around with those pharaohs, and Akhenaten had a very strange kind of body and everything, and
they're very strange.
And they called them God kings.
Yes. So did the Vril create Egypt and then the Americas and that whole ancient Egypt fucking thing that everyone worships? The ancient Egypt gets worshipped everywhere. Everyone loves fucking ancient Egypt and all their gods and all the sun gods. But like literally, was that the Vril?
Well, it could have been.
In our
immersion
into
it's the start of the story
realm.
that we're given, isn't it? So was it, well, they say 5,000 years ago, 4,500? I mean,
and then,
possibly, but it's probably close. I think everything's been pushed back more.
What's the connection between the pyramids and the bells? Did the pyramids offer the frequency that was opposing the bells? I mean, I'm just asking, like, if ancient Egypt was real territory.
Well, if it was,
real technology. Beacons of frequency, like antennas coming out of these pyramids, which were all over the world.
Well, that's the thing. We've just been to a pyramid,
like
and it
giant ant
it
mounds.
was good, like termite mounds.
Like giant termite mounds. Oh my God, that's a different way of thinking about pyramids.
Yeah, as far as we know and what we've been told with Bosnia, that's all good frequencies. Definitely felt good. The vibe was awesome.
It was nice. But maybe it's been turned off. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we
just
all
throwing ideas out
think
there.
the pyramids are in our service, and they're all going to activate during this ascension process, whatever that fucking word is. Whatever that word is, because whatever that figure means, what does it? Does that just mean? Does the ascension just mean like we all get wiped out and cleared out by the vril?
You were being so positive for a while.
I'm only asking. I'm only chewing the fact, my friend. So, but you know, we see the pyramids as being like really special and important and life affirming and life giving. But what if the pyramids were actually the radio frequencies that did take out the Tartarian civilization? Because one thing is true, my friends, and you would agree with this, that Egypt architecture and Tartarian architecture are different.
Yeah, okay, yes, yeah.
And like, so we have a really big Tartarian civilization across the whole realm, all countries, and then we have the Egyptian, like,
Which doesn't seem to be so
which
replicated.
it's not the same as the Tartarian at all.
And then we have all, a lot of the Egyptian temples and that, you know, they just look like they've been slapped together, right? A lot of them have been moved, apparently.
Giant cats. You don't see giant cats in Tartaria. You don't see pyramids. You do not see pyramids in Tartarian architecture.
No.
You don't. You do not see animal-headed things. You don't.
No, that's more, yeah.
Yes.
There is some of that, but it's all
hardly
put on at
anything.
a different time, I think,
Yes.
and that's all sort of Venetian
You don't see
stuff.
You don't see those like those flat temples with the columns, and you don't see that boxy square architecture of Greece and Rome and Egypt. I'm just saying.
You see the colonnaded buildings, like the Parliament buildings, but yeah, they're different. But they do have columns, but yeah, they're not the big.
There's a distinct difference between those two cultures' architecture. And you can't say that.
Especially in the size, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't say it very often because Tartaria just seems to be everywhere. So, I mean, this is something interesting. So, could we say that the pyramids and the Egyptian style architecture was not the same as the Tartarian, and that those are the two cultures that came up and, you know, was the
headbutted, of course.
Because the Tartarian architecture is in paintings that are older than we've got of Egypt.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing, like, is Egypt.
Where did Egypt come from?
Then...
Where the fuck did Egypt come from?
What?
I mean, people, where did Egypt come from?
What did it used to be called?
Where the fuck did it come from?
Oh, gosh, I've forgotten. It was, what's the ancient name for Egypt?
Mesopotamia?
No. Kemet. Kemet, right? I wonder what Kemet means. This we call, is that right? Kemet?
Yeah, Kemet.
I'm a bit tipsy. Oh, sorry, everyone. Let's love each other. All right. Does anyone have technical problems?
Is correct.
Kemet, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so at some point, and you don't hear about Kemet, so at some point it's changed from Kemet to Egypt, right?
Yes.
So it could also have been taken over, right?
Yes.
Existing.
I mean, you remember going to school, right?
Well, vaguely.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I know we've all wiped it out, but anyway, you guys remember going to school, right? And you just you're in year 6 and you get your school book and it's a history book and you open up chapter 1 and it's Egypt.
Yeah.
And there's Egypt. There's this civilization, and here are all these pictures of the pyramids and all this pharaohs and this hieroglyphics. They have their own AI language. What the fuck do you think hieroglyphics are? They are just AI language, surely. Anyway, so
well, yeah, they're very, very similar to icons on computers.
Yeah, iconic code. They're emojicons.
Yeah.
They're the emojicons, right? So it's AI. And then suddenly Egypt's just there in your history textbook and you have to do an Egypt assignment and you're going to have to make a mummy or do something Egyptian, validates this whole concept of Egypt. And then it just disappears. And then you just turn the page and you're onto some completely different Rome, usually Rome. And there's nothing that happens in between. Egypt just comes, it just gets delivered to us and then it just disappears.
Yeah, then Rome, then World War I, World War II.
Yeah, Cook.
World
Captain
Oh,
Cook.
Captain Cook, if you're in Australia, you get a bit of that.
So, but that's okay. So from this perspective, potentially,
Hmm.
Egypt was that of the real society emerged, and like we were talking about stargates last week, but maybe it was like tunnels.
Yeah, well, yeah, wormholes.
Yeah, wormholes could actually be literal wormholes,
Yeah, yeah.
not fucking in space, but literal wormholes, like
Go
in the ground,
underground.
like an actual wormhole, not a fucking weird fucking
Something that exists
actual
and not
wormhole.
some weird thing from outer space, yeah.
So, do you remember that movie in the like 90s called Tremors?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
With the
A lot of
giant
people
worms.
mention Tremors, yeah.
Yeah, going through the
That
sand.
the dad from, what's that show, Family Ties?
I don't remember.
With Alex Keith.
But how's how they always put and in June as well, they always put these
June.
giant worms in sand. Like desert sand. It's always connected to desert sands.
Which is weird.
Which is just, it could be water, but it's not, it's desert sands. It could be friggin', the highlands soil, but it's desert sands always, the worms are in desert sands, somehow, always. So then what happens if Egypt and the real, same civilization, and anything connected to Egypt, the Americas, because there's a lot of Egyptian issues with the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah, and the Mississippi River.
Yeah,
they've got all these.
Egyptian
they've got
issues.
Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is from Egypt. Like they got all these Egyptian named towns and weird stuff, and Grand Canyon with temples, and there they found all the Egyptian artifacts down there, right?
Yeah, so like I like that. Egyptian issues.
Egyptian.
Yeah, they've got a few Egyptian PR issues. Anyway, so from this perspective, then that would make sense that they have the Sphinx, giant worshipping of the toxoplasma carrier, the Sphinx cat, the great Trojan horse. The Sphinx is the great Trojan horse that enters the realm full of this plasma that's so cute and so like cute and cuddly, and you want it and you pick it up and you want to kiss its little head and it purrs and it's all over you, and it's like it's carrying the parasite, the Trojan horse. It's like sending us all a teddy bear.
Trojan horse.
Yes, and so they have this, and so it's like the mother of the takeover, the queen of the hive, the great Sphinx. And so the cat gets worshipped as the queen, the sexy feline queens of the Egyptian race, the great Sphinx. And then these parasites, they come down your sphincter? They connection to your sphincter.
But cats do put their butt in your face, don't they? They love to show you their butt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Campbell, that could technically imagine that the pyramids cracked, sent out a new frequency across the realm. And you know how no one's ever worked out how they did the pyramids? What happens if they just burrowed up from the underground, like a nest would do, like pushed it up from the underground, like a termite nest, and then these pyramids were created all around the world. Like, I don't know if you know this, guys, but in Australia, wombats actually have square poos. Did you know that?
Do they have square buttholes?
Where would you fucking be without me? I swear to God. If you ever get on like a game show and you're asked that question and you win $1 million, wombats in Australia have square poos. They leave them on logs, little square cubits. Perfectly square poos. Yeah, I know. Mind blowing. Anyway, the point is, like, if a wombat can poo out a square poo, then why couldn't we create pyramids from the underground with technology? So it's all come from underground and moves into this shape. That's why we don't understand how the boulders got there. We don't know where the rocks came from. All these ludicrous stories, blah blah blah, and they're all over the world, blah blah blah. And imagine that would mean okay, I'm developing this one. This is a live theory going on here.
There we go.
So you ready? Because I found my place. I wasn't comfortable over there. I couldn't think properly. All right. Okay, so if they buried from underground up, Campbell.
Yeah.
No, don't. I just said I found my place, and now you just move things. Move it back. I was happy there. I'm happy on the side here. I like it. My arms. It's good. Have you ever read Don John?
Don John?
Yeah. Have you ever read the books with Don Quixote?
The
Anyway,
yeah, Don Juan. Yeah.
Don Juan. Anyway,
Yeah.
one of the biggest lessons is you've got to spend hours finding your place. If you don't find your place and find the spot you're meant to be, then nothing can be facilitated through.
Oh.
Anyway, so just
Well, it's interesting because cats are very picky about where they
they are
sit.
too. All right, so here's the working theory. So now they've built the pyramids for underground. So there's now a tunnel where all this stuff came up and made the pyramid tunnel, right, into the. And so wouldn't it be then easy to broadcast the real frequency up through that underground, through that tunnel,
Wormhole.
into the up through the wormhole, through the pyramids, and then across the whole realm? All the bells cracked. All the big bells got cracked. The mud flood, I know we put it down to plasma, but maybe it was like a frequency issue. Like frequency can create liquefaction.
Well, yeah, liquefaction. Yeah. Fast vibrations. Yeah.
I mean, because the plasma theory is good, and of course we are into it. But it seems very dramatic. Like something's going to blow out of the firmament. Ooh, the fire just exploded. Something's going to blow out of the firmament. But what happens if it's all happening underground? What if it's about stuff going down or up? Anyway, I just think it's an interesting one.
Thank you, Susie Flatt. Thank you very much for your kind donations. I appreciate it. And so does Kelly.
Does that mean you're gonna like?
Let's go towards our bus, man.
Oh, bus.
Yes, we want to buy a bus, a Tartaria Australia bus, so we can go touring.
So, all right, how are you vibing about this? It's an interesting theory.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm just trying to think. There's something that builds like that, isn't it? It eats and then excretes.
Yeah, that's what parasites do.
Is that like wasp? Maybe I'm thinking wasps. Definitely the mud wasps do that. And
oh yeah, absolutely the mud wasp.
Yeah. So there's creatures who build like that.
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting theory.
So therefore, the pyramid's not working in our favor. And it's not a symbol that we should be advocating for. And of course, the pyramid's on the dollar bill.
Exactly. Illuminati.
Yeah, I mean, hello. Why do we advocate for the pyramid? And then that's the symbol of their entire structure.
That's a good point.
Why would we do that? It's like a fucking programming. Totally.
Like it's synonymous with the Illuminati now, right? Like the pyramid. And it is a pyramid. It's not a triangle. It's a pyramid, right?
Yeah.
That's.
I don't microdose on mushrooms, by the way. Whoever asked that question. No, this is just me, just talking out my thoughts.
And thank you for everyone for being here, by the way. We appreciate you all. 320 of you watching us live.
Yeah, okay, so back to the pyramids. Let's just stay on this, because this is an interesting one. Unless you guys have questions, in which case you should put them in capitals in the chat.
Yes.
And you can ask anything you want about anything you want over any topic you can think of.
Yes, we may answer.
What if the pyramids were built at a time when the ocean was far more salty, and maybe these people were were ocean beings or something strange like that, and the blocks were able to be light and float? Is that cello? Acelia. Yeah, well, I mean, possible.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, the sandstone float though.
And also salt's anti-parasitic.
Yes.
Do they use salt? They would avoid salt. We don't we used to preserve things.
Look what they do to salt. They give people that bleached, uniodized,
they fuck with
crappy salt, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They even mess with the salt. So.
And actually, on the fast, Campbell and I had a salt that that my partner imported from America, and it was this is the most amazing salt we'd ever. And we would stick it in the salt. And it was like a explosion of minerals, right?
Thank you, Kira, again. Appreciate it. What was that? Sorry, salt?
I was just talking about the salt on our fast, how it was really, really obvious that it was so high in minerals. Like that salt was just so...
Comes through.
It had such a high frequency. Yeah, and it was ground salt. That's right. Yeah, it wasn't pink salt. Just saying.
Yeah, wow.
Something weird about the pink salt.
Did you hear about the two peanuts walking through?
The what?
The two peanuts walking through New York City at night. One was assaulted.
Oh.
That's my dad joke for the night.
Thanks, Campbell.
That's all you're getting. Come on. I know all the dads out there are laughing, rolling on the floor. All right. So yeah, any questions? Donald Marshall says the pyramids were to destroy Vril. Lol.
I know.
But I thought, what if they are up to that? What the parasites came up with in from below using the stars as a map. I've read that really badly. But I thought, what if they are what the parasites came in from below using the stars as a map? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing we don't know, but what we do know is everything, or most of the information we have access to comes from the people who wish to control us, right? Like all of it. So we've got to be able to question everything, like all these experts, all these, alternative experts, like it's all up for grabs. And really, whatever they are pushing is going to be part of their agenda, right? If they want it, then it's probably not good for us. So
guess what? I'm fucking going to Egypt at the end of the year.
You are, yes. Kelly is going to
How's
Egypt.
that? I will be there in Egypt at the end of this year.
Yeah, man.
Going to Morocco, Egypt, and Jordan. So last year, obviously, someone just reminded me that because.
Thank you very much. Love you too.
Blessings, all these blessings.
I know.
I know.
You guys
like
are being
excellent.
amazing. You are excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, I want you guys to start saving up for your stadium ticket.
Yes,
I had a dream.
We're building up 100,000 people. We're getting there. We're getting there.
What was I saying just then? I got distracted again. It's distracting going from the questions to ranting. China. Yes. So someone said, where are all the people in China? Another C word.
Chocolate stuff.
Another C word. Cats, cobras, clowns, China.
China. Empty China. Empty. Empty.
It was fucking empty. There's no way around it. It was empty. There is absolute no. I went from India to China, roughly the same population. China's empty. Where are all the Chinese people? I mean, they're all in Australia. That's the truth. And that's all right. It's just the way it's turned out. But they're all in, there's just a lot here in Australia.
China's clearly not what we're told. I mean, communist country, but they travel around, they're allowed to leave their country and go and start businesses.
Hey.
Like, what are the Chinese people known for? They migrate and they start businesses, and we're told they're communists. The communists don't get taught about business. It's the exact opposite to what they stand for.
Yeah, I know. It's really fucking
Doesn't
weird.
make sense.
It's a total paradox.
Mm.
And you can't just migrate out of your country if you're a communist country. You can't. And yet the Chinese people are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So it's a paradox.
They were even in Serbia.
It's an unknown paradox.
In Serbia.
Yeah. Yes.
They were the ones up in starting all the shops.
We were there when the freaking president was
Oh,
there.
That's right. Ping
the
pong.
whole town got
shut
down.
Yeah, man. They shut down Belgrade to get the bloody Chinese. Was it China? Yeah, it was. What's his name? Ying Ping Long or something.
Yeah, China's definitely an empty place. And it's beautiful and it's definitely empty. And they definitely eat some weird things in China. And this year I'm going to Egypt. So with all this information. So the question is, of course, and someone just mentioned it, this chat's going too fast for me to see the names. But hello out there. But the pyramids are famous, and as we experienced in Bosnia, for healing and longevity. Now, this is interesting, Campbell, because part of the Vril book, one of the things they said of the Vril is that they had like very powerful longevity and the power to live for a long, long time, and that the energy of the Vril, this magnetic energy, was healing for them.
Mm.
So, but they said it could heal or destroy.
Well, it's just energy. Yeah.
So when it's a dormant machine, maybe it's healing. But when it's turned on and being manipulated and utilized as a weapon, it's destructive. And I think it would make sense. We've got two cultures on this realm. We've got pyramids everywhere. No one knows where they came from or how they were built or out of what. And we've got Tartarian culture.
Yeah, which is basically everything, right?
And the Tartarian culture got destroyed and taken over.
Mm.
And somewhere in all of that was us.
It's interesting because that's the area from the Bible too, right? Like Moses.
Fucking yes.
Moses was in Egypt.
Oh my
and all
God,
through,
that's so true.
all
Yes.
through that area.
Oh my God,
That's
yes.
where the story starts there as well.
Hello, did you guys all hear that? Say that again.
Yeah, man, the Bible starts in Egypt, right? Moses was in Egypt. They
Starts
left there
Egypt,
from the walked around the desert for 40 years, and he was also, what's the story? His mother couldn't look after him, so put him in a basket. He floated down the river, and he was found by a royal family who took him in. And then he had a fight with the Pharaoh,
right. Yes.
and he made the Pharaoh's staff turn into a snake.
Oh my God. Well, why hadn't I thought of that?
Well,
that's genius. That's genius right there. It's freaking genius.
I bring value to this conversation.
Yes. So you are so right. The goddamn Bible
the
starts
Bible.
in Egypt.
It does, man.
The great takeover.
Yeah, and that's also where God, right, the Lord, comes in and kills the firstborn son of everyone.
Oh my God.
That's not very parasitic, is it? Yeah, man, there's some weird stuff going on in that Old Testament.
Wow. I mean, I'm almost curious enough to read the Old Testament now from the eyes of a parasitic invasion.
Yeah, man, it's interesting to read.
That is interesting. I might do that. I'm very interested. I mean, it starts in Egypt. Wow. I mean, isn't that weird? Because when you're at school, right, they don't make that
connection
juxtaposition.
No.
They didn't go, we're going to study Egypt now, ancient Egypt, and that's also when the story of the Bible started. They put them way in different timelines. Way.
Yeah. But no, at the same time, my man, like the pharaohs and Moses,
so why are we
together, man.
Hello, then how can we possibly think pyramids are good?
Well, I don't know.
What part of pyramids would you see as good?
I think everything's just interesting.
So do I. Everything is very interesting.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, well, I mean, it's a good.
Why do we
something to reconsider, right? Especially with all that information, like, and we don't know. It's still something that we don't know. Like, apparently, no one's getting closer to how these things were formed. But it's literally the Illuminati symbol. It's a symbol they use to show us that we're at the bottom of the pyramid, like we've been talking about. It's they were the people that oppressed Moses, and apparently the chosen people.
Pyramids are ancient CERN. Pyramids is ancient CERN. Well, isn't it interesting that CERN is about digging underground? CERN is about they're always blasting wormholes,
building big tunnels
underground. Wormholes underground. Military bases are always building underground. Wormholes underground. It's like they've
big ants and nests.
Yeah, it's like they've parasitically taken over humans to start digging down, and they're digging up. So there's their two ones are becoming a big, the surface world has been sort of parasitically, archonically taught to dig down as they're coming up.
Because it's a consciousness and not a physical.
So they're bridging the gap between the surface world and the underground world. Do you remember the show we did about elves?
Yeah.
And it was all about putting them underground.
Yes, yeah. Yes, good point.
And the look like the description of those elves in the book.
The pale skin and everything. Yeah. And then you have the Bible again, right? The devil was locked underground for 1,000 years or something. So it's all this stuff underground, right, that was locked up. There's a lot of talk about, the millennial reign and the Satan's little season.
Yeah.
Where it says Satan will be released. Like, where's he released from? Well, he was trapped underground. So if you're into that kind of a narrative, that's there as well.
Oh, excuse me. What if the cat was the first mammalian that could carry the parasite to the surface? Because reptiles aren't a carrier enough, right? You can't release 1 million serpents onto the world and have it carry.
Slow.
And everyone hates them, it's scary.
Yeah.
But imagine if the cat was the first mammal that they managed a living mammal that could walk the surface and carry the parasite. And that's why it was so celebrated by the real in these ancient Egyptian depictions, just conceptually possible. Because they'd need to get it into a mammalian form in order to infect a mammalian form.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, get a parasite that can live comfortably in a mammal and then it'll transfer to another one.
And right at the beginning of the show, Cam, we were talking about clowns, and you mentioned, we didn't elaborate on this, but we mentioned that that they used to paint their face white, and all the tribal depictions of demons were white. They'd paint their face white. It was always white skin, white skin. The umbrella was invented in ancient Egypt. The umbrella to protect themselves from the sun. And they always had these huge things on them to cover themselves up from the sun.
Yeah.
And then you've got this and then through the royal families, they were wearing white makeup. That's where we got makeup from. Makeup came from this time.
Yeah, and in that show we're listening today,
yeah,
with the fallen angels, and we're told they brought down all these, all this stuff, teachings, metallurgy, blah blah blah, and makeup. And the thought has been that the makeup is like women's makeup. No, that's why it doesn't say makeup. It says the painting of the face.
The painting of the face.
Yeah. And today, understanding conspiracies was saying, well, maybe that wasn't makeup. Maybe that was clown paint, right? Or the white paint that the clowns, because they're all white, right? And there's got this thing that they get burnt from the sun, right? They can't go in the sun. And they have red hair, and we still, people with red hair and today generally have pale skin and the same kind of issues. And so the hats, suits, umbrellas, it's all to cover up from the sun, right?
And they were talking about the clowns. If we look at today's depiction of clowns with they always got exaggerated size feet and big gloves on and big red shoes.
Little hats.
And little tiny hats. And they come out of little tiny cars to emphasize the giant nature of these clowns, right? And that's how clowns depicted today. But and then you've got all the way through the sort of tribal cultures where they're big clown-like beings, scary. But then you take that to the pharaohs, where they introduced the white skin and the headsets and the giant nature of the pharaohs. So it's all connected.
Yeah, big heads. Yeah, man.
But
yes. Yeah, exactly right. What do you guys think? There's lots of connections, of course. This has been a bit
can I have my coconut water?
All over the place. But we're building a theory here. Conspiracies, arrow shows, all the clowns and tribal figures. Yeah. What's with Bob? Yeah, Bob. I don't know who Bob is, man. Bob, Mr. Bob Dobalina. But yeah, conspiracies are us. He got that as well from Understanding Conspiracies, is where he got the information. But he shows some great videos, and if you go and look at all the tribal, there's some really good.
It's mind blowing. Yeah. Go and check it out, everyone. I find it a fascinating topic. We've been looking at it for months and months. It's fascinating. Go and check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So just put in Nephilim the clowns, and you'll get a lot of stuff.
So
someone else posted before too, Chemet, which is where we get chemistry, right? Chemical, and that's what big pharma is, right? It's all chemicals, and that's the same thing. So that's Egypt from Chemet. So is that where all this stuff came from as well? Who else we got? Greetings from Alaska. Hello. Excuse me, I'm not a clown and I'm not a vampire. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Angel Wings. Bob's your uncle. Queen Elizabeth I, yeah, man. She's known for that. She's been caricatured so many times, the white and the red lips and the red hair and all that kind of look. Moses was Tutmosis, the Pharaoh. Yes, definitely. May have been. There's definitely some talk about that. He was definitely raised in the royal household, right? That's why clowns scare the shit out of everyone on a deep level. Yeah, well,
the pointy hats of the KKK.
Ah, nice. Good point.
The pointy hat. So anywhere you see a pointy hat, it's to represent that cone-headed thing. To represent that, the snake, the cobra, the demon, the parasite. There's something under the hat.
The elongated skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine if, the parasite, when it grew, it actually pushed the skull. When the big strong parasites actually.
Is it encephalitis? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Imagine if they put it into the babies, the offspring of whatever, and it from birth, those parasites changed the skull, and then they became the pharaohs.
Yeah, because they were the most infected.
So when we talk about the Nephilim, were they the pharaohs? Because that's where the Bible starts.
I mean,
That's where the Bible starts.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no real story for how Egypt started and how they ended up with these god kings that were, men that were worshipped as gods and all this stuff. So it kind of looks like people just implanted themselves. Same old story, right? They just turn up going, we're gods, here's our technology, rah, rah, and people have fallen for it. So they could be, yeah.
The Ark of the Covenant. Wasn't that like an energy? The Ark of the what?
Covenant.
Covenant, what did I say? Covenant.
I don't know.
Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant.
Yes. Yeah, apparently the dimensions for it are exactly the same as the sarcophagus in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. So some people are saying, is it a battery? But it's some kind of energy.
It's real
machine.
energy.
Yeah, because they took it through,
real energy. Right, that's
based on the stories, it was levitating and floating.
I'm fucking convinced.
They took it through cities and it gave people radiation poisoning and killed them.
That's it. I'm convinced.
Is that real energy?
Ancient Egypt is the real.
There you go. All right.
All worshipping of Egypt and pharaohs and all of that stuff is real.
I haven't missed anyone.
All the technology.
Thank you very much, Lorraine.
I know.
New Zealand.
All these blessings. Appreciate it.
You've all been awesome tonight.
Sorry, guys. So I've just gone off on a tangent. So sorry.
So welcome to our
I should just be checking it. I wanted to sit here and answer questions, tell stories if anyone wanted any.
You weren't doing very well at that though.
No, the beginning was uncomfortable.
No, yes, it was. And as soon as you started talking theories,
well, that's because I got comfortable.
Yes. Yeah, sitting in the right position.
That's right. So
just sneaking in from
I'm going to shut up now.
Or is it because you're Illuminati and you're trying to cut out one of your eyes? Is that what's going on here? Someone's going to say that.
If I sit there like this.
Ooh.
What if I sit there like this all day?
Oh my God, don't do that. People are going to clip it. Yes, all right. Well, an hour 42, 336 of you watching. Thank you for being here.
But does no one have any? I mean, the whole point of me coming on this live with you was to interact, and I haven't done that. I've just gone off on one of my tangents. Naughty Kelly on your live. Come on, guys. There must be something excellent to discuss.
Hi,
anything
Campbell,
you want to add?
Been always used in Florida. Rainbow Maker. Who's Rainbow Maker? I know that's not your real name. At least I don't remember meeting a Rainbow Maker. But hello, yes, it's been almost a year. Were you there?
Have you gotten off the grid to avoid the government parasites? Well, I have always lived this way, actually. For the last 20 years or so, I've lived in nature.
For the last 18 months.
Yeah, it's just been. I've been in the bush. I was in the Australian outback for 15 years, and then moved to another farm. So yeah, I've been out in nature for a while. Can't imagine not being in that way.
No, but
I was in Melbourne for a year. That was very tough.
Thank you. My gosh, Deuce. Thank you very much.
What's a super sticker?
I have no idea. I don't know. But
cool.
He's given $2.79 Canadian. So thank you very much.
Excellent.
Appreciate all of your support. What were you just talking about?
Are there any interesting sites to see in Perth, Tartarian sites? We're going to be in Perth next year, everyone, finally.
Yeah, man, Fremantle's full of stuff. Just walk around Fremantle, the Fremantle Jail, the Roundhouse. There's, Barrack Street Arch is what it's called. It's basically the entranceway to an old star fort, the centre bit of a star fort that was knocked over in the early 80s. Yeah, man, there's heaps of stuff. Go out to Guildford, Midland. There's Tartaria stuff all over. And then Albany down south. It's everywhere. Yes. Yes is the answer. I want to know how your experience of Buddhism has changed your perspective. Don't get us started on Buddhism.
I can sum it up. All right, so Buddhism is fucked because, and here's my summary. That's a terrible way to start this conversation. I'm meant to be like impartial, but I like diversity. So basically the thing about Buddhism is the whole process is to sit there in a state of emptiness. It's to sit there in a state of non-attachment and sit there in a state of no thing. And I taught for the monastery for many years, so I got very versed at the process. But essentially, we're creators, and the whole practice of Buddhism is non-creation. It's no thing. It's non-attachment, non-creation. So you basically train yourself into nothingness, which is completely like stripping you of your beautiful, amazing power and gift of creation. You know, and that really struck me when Tibet fell. I mean, Tibet's got the world's strongest, the densest population of meditators, the strongest, strongest bloodlines of meditators, and they couldn't even get their asses in gear as a whole culture to sit there and meditate reality away from China invading their whole country and taking it over and raping everyone and turning all the temples into prostitution. Seriously, the greatest meditators aren't you taught to meditate is how you get to the state of creation? Like meditate on what you want but in actual fact, in Buddhism, you're taught into state of non-creation, non-attachment. You don't want anything, no desires, no nothing. And in doing that, they actually, like Tibet fell.
Country. Wow.
Also, it's hugely sexist.
And then they give you robes.
Yeah.
To walk around so people worship you.
Yeah, it's true.
For what?
Yeah.
For knowing nothing.
That's right. It's true. People revere monks, Buddhist monks, wherever they go, wherever they walk, whatever airport they're in, people are like, it's the Buddhist monks. It's fucks, man. And there'll never be a female Dalai Lama. It's incredibly sexist. So they're all incredibly sexist. Like that's just the parasite of religion. Every single one of them is incredibly father figure orientated. But yeah, once again, it puts all the power outside of it. It's all the same things, and also the Dalai Lama. Don't even get me started on that little inverted monster.
Lama, he's mate Klaus from the WEF. Yeah.
I mean, he just sits there and everyone thinks he's like the representation of peace and love and happiness on the planet. No way is that the case. That is so not true. That is such a delusion. He's a puppet like all of them. And he's definitely got a main parasite in him.
Like Sadhguru as well. Like he's
all
hanging out with, they're all hanging out with all these globalists and all the people pushing the jabby jab.
Yeah, and they push the jab.
Yeah, man.
And also they've got massive connections. Tibet actually has massive connections to wormholes, literal wormholes in the ground. Literally, they have massive connection with the real. I would say the Buddhist religion is real religion. In fact, they're all real religions, but Buddhism is definitely one of them. Yeah,
the whole thing of worship is religion, right? It's not God, it's not creation. Clearly, it's not creation, right? Because you're worshipping someone, you're giving them their power rather than using it to create something yourself. So, I would agree. All religious institutions and doctrines. And they still force you to do. You do practices that revere like Buddha, who, by the way, fasted for 40 days. It's probably the one good thing. But yeah, like basically, like you do pujas. Everything's in Tibetan. You do all these practices that are just basically adding layers to yourself because you're not being yourself. The reason I left the monastery is I was on my way to a teaching one day. I was giving a teaching and I loved it. I loved teaching. And this voice in my head disappeared out of nowhere and said, you can't be a Buddhist because you're not Buddha. You have to be a Kellyist because you're Kelly. That's exactly what it said to me out of fucking nowhere. You cannot be a Buddhist because you're not Buddha. You have to be a Kellyist because you're Kelly. And then suddenly everything it's been like, I was like, oh my God, I've never seen an enlightened monk or nun. Oh my God, Campbell, they're just like parroting and mimicking what Buddha did. This isn't going to work. Oh my God, I've got to be a Kellyist, whatever that means. It basically means you've got to be your own sovereign being because you are the Lord God of your being. You are the creator of your soul and spirit. You are it, baby. Yes, Serious Science, thank you again for your kind donation. Yes, I've heard this, like all the bound fallen angels, a star falls like the seals, could be, but we don't see them changing. Well, I mean, maybe that's good, right? Maybe it means the devils being released, but I don't know. I look around, it looks like they're already broken out of prison, doesn't it?
What?
These demons, it looks like some of them are already up here with us.
I think that Tibet I think that Tibet was built around an intersection of a wormhole from the real civilization, founded Tibet and the Buddhist religion and Buddha. The holy beings of Buddhism were probably the initial pharaohs, the initial parasitic pharaohs of the Buddhist religion, and seeded this whole religion, again, getting people to be in a state of non-creation, not nothingness. And I think where Tibet sat was on one of those wormholes, because I know there's a lot of contact between them and in the past with any thoughts I've had on reptilians. The Vatican is another one that sits. In fact, the key, all the main religions, where they've manifested from and what they've built around that spot would all be wormholes, probably. Akin to what's under the pyramids, maybe.
Wormholes.
So maybe
Real
your pyramids,
wormholes.
are all part of this parasitic religion. And so that's weird, because all of our like little like energy devices, so often they're in pyramid structures. I literally had a pyramid,
Yeah, all the
a copper
organized,
pyramid.
yeah.
I slept under for like months, 6 months. I slept under a copper pyramid. Get fucked. What does that mean?
I don't know what happened.
Crazy shit happened.
I think I know.
Crazy shit happened in that time period. Honestly, my reality went fucking crazy.
That's interesting.
Like really multidimensional in that time period.
Well, it's interesting. Like, what are these? Yeah. And we're gonna have to. I mean, guys, we're gonna have to get onto this. I think the wormholes are a good one, right? What do you guys think? Like, wormholes being actual wormholes going down to this, civilization underneath us on the inner Earth. Is that possibly what pyramids or some pyramids are? Hills, mountains. But where's Tibet? Up in the Himalayas.
Hey, it's my birthday.
Oh yes.
This is my birthday weekend.
Tomorrow is your birthday, is it?
That's right.
Tomorrow?
No, Monday.
No, Monday. It's Saturday today, yeah.
This is my formal birthday weekend,
It
everyone.
is. So everyone say happy birthday to Kelly.
That's right.
Let's see if we can get it like word by word and get it all in order.
So then we've made a case tonight accidentally, but it's feeling good, that friggin' pyramids and Egypt are all part of the same parasitic religion as Buddhism and Christianity and Islamic. I mean, oh my God, don't get me started on this fucking religion that parasitically convinces women to completely cover their whole souls in black.
Yeah.
That's just like focusing on non-creation to me. Like literally convincing a woman that she has to be wearing a black shroud over herself the entire time. Oh my God. Talk about being deleted. Just like what Buddhism does, it deletes you.
Yeah.
And Christianity, sadly, it pisses me off.
I know.
Oh, happy birthday to me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm getting 1 year older. Oh, woohoo.
1 year wiser.
That's the most amount of happy birthdays I've had for a long, long time.
There you go. Now she's happy. Yes. So we're going to go out for some drinks and watch some spoken word in Mulaney.
Yeah, all right. If anyone's tuning in from Mulaney, Campbell and I and my fam are planning to head down to the Mulaney alleyway on Monday night, which has like this stage and all these cool food outlets and yeah, all good.
Cheeseburgers apparently and spoken word and people can get up and do their thing. So yeah, if you're close by, come and say hello.
Thanks everyone. I'm reading your messages.
Look at them all.
Yay.
Oh, Drift Seed said it's his turtle's birthday. So there you go.
So this is interesting. Do you guys think this is an interesting theory? Does it make you like look at all of the healing modalities that have got pyramids as part of the plan in them? Does it make you look at pyramids differently? Like we've just come from the Bosnian pyramid, Campbell. And we stood under that pyramid and it was fucking delish.
It was there, man. Like the energy was cool.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was.
Yeah.
And and Sam, Dr. Sam, oh my God, he made me cry. His presence talking about his book made me cry. Like his whole frequency was so embedded in compassion. It was such a high frequency that I was completely moved. I just thought, wow, if I could ever be of that frequency, that would be a completion of this lifetime. Like it was so high and beautiful. I was like blown away by it. And he spent his whole life around pyramids. So That's something as well. Like that's a contradictory element to this theory.
It is. So I'd have to do some looking, but I mean also like the pyramids in the Balkans, like they're not blocks stacked on top of each other pyramids. They're like one's are literally a terraformed mountain, and the other one's it's coated. It's not made out of blocks. It looks like it's I don't know, like a. I mean, we don't know because I haven't got in there yet, but on the outside, it's just thick jet polymer. So it looks like it's a different.
All right. So potentially,
are they a different kind of pyramid? We don't know.
Yes, maybe they came from a different time period.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know.
They look like the cheap rip-offs, don't they? Of the big ones.
No, they're bigger. The Bosnian
I mean,
pyramids.
the Egyptian ones look like the rip-offs of the.
They
Bosnian
do.
one.
And isn't that what Vril do? Don't they just
exactly?
like
Well, this is the other thing.
rip off true creation?
Yes, they
mimic it.
Yeah.
Mimic true creation. So maybe there was a time, and maybe this is why everyone still remembers. So maybe there was a time in the elation timeline which people remember where pyramids were life-giving and of our favor. But then in the recent times, Campbell, we didn't even talk about this. Quick, say thank you.
Thank you, Pseudoscience University.
You're all excellent. Ah, blessings. You're being blessed a lot tonight, my friend.
So he's saying Earth is a pyramid, 4 corners, lands under the Pacific, South Africa, South America, and Australia. All lands lead to the centre, inclining, going north. Oh, what's that like? Convex, is it? Convex Earth? Well, who knows? Who knows? But
you know
yes,
what?
Thank you for your point of view and your kind support as I try and get rid of this. Martin Leakey's still here. What's Martin? Oh, woohoo. Woohoo. Marcus, thank you.
And our modern day depictions of pyramids, it's not just ancient Egypt. It's also fucking blood sacrifice and ritual. It's also like the Incas throwing fucking sacrificing people out of the pyramids and fucking all that stuff came into being. But was there a time where pyramids were older and life-affirming, life-giving? Did they come from a different consciousness? Was that consciousness maybe left over from the Atlantis sort of?
Well, like everything, right? So like the real energy, right? It's not good or bad. Like, so the original ones could have been good and they've just messed with it and created their other pyramids that projected as bad, right?
Like the Dark Crystal.
Copies, like the Dark Crystal.
Do you know, you've never seen that?
Well, I have, but once. I just don't remember it much, and I was like 6.
Oh, you saw the scary version when we were kid version.
I haven't seen the new.
Yeah.
How old's the new one?
No, recent, came out during COVID.
So, okay, so.
Oh, you should definitely watch it. It's basically a metaphor for reality.
Mm.
But anyway, so there could have been a time where the real energy was actually used for positively charged purposes. But would that dictate that the civilization called the real under the earth were malevolent? Like, were they impartial at some time? Was the energy, how did they become, were the real infested by parasites first?
I thought the real was a parasite.
Or the real the parasite. Well, we're not sure because, the parasite could have also infested them, which then turned their energy into negatively charged.
It could work like frequency, right? So whatever's below us is a lower frequency.
That makes sense.
And so
but the earth is below us.
And our frequency is a sine wave, so it goes up and down, like positive, like blue, red shift, blah, blah, blah. And so then that might, we have all these stories of the devil or demons being kept in Tartarus, right? And all these places under the ground. Maybe that's what gets released when we have when we go into a negative cycle. They get up and, right, the devil, what is it, sayings of the season is the negative. And then, but we're going into the positive. So they come up and do all this stuff and take over and blah, 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 blah. But every time just before they take over, the energy changes and they have to go back underground. Like little moles they are.
It just reminds me, that makes me think of the earth as like a bag of bugs.
Yeah.
That like Beetlejuice.
Wasn't
just comes up and
and
animates it out of bugs and cockroaches and then do you remember the Oogie Boogie Man from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Is that who it was? And his head was something, was a bag of worms.
He was just he was like a sack and it was just full of cockroaches and bugs.
Yeah, that was gross. Really.
Anyway, if you don't want to be a walking bag of bugs and worms and parasites that make you believe in religion, then you should do a fast.
Yeah.
So if you would like to join Campbell and I on this conceptual trial concept of doing a group fast, and just for 8 days, and just letting us guide you guys through it morning and evening, I reckon I'll put up the link next week for that. And yeah, I mean, the more of us that are having direct experiences, because of course, one thing that you can say that's very important that Campbell and I take very seriously is that we like at every single possible time to turn our knowledge into wisdom. And to do that, you have to have the actual experience. And that is something we're really big on. So there's so much of what we talk about we can't actually validate with true experience. Have an experience of what we're trying. So much of it retains itself as knowledge. So we never get to move it to our wisdom. But to do that, to actually take something from knowledge to wisdom, you actually have to participate in doing it and have the experience. Yeah. So, and then you guys can talk about, you become your own experiment, right? So then you get to see what happens to you personally, what impact it has on your life, how it changes your attitude, how it changes your demeanor, how it changes your ideas. Like you just will never know until you give it a batch. And since you've been eating your whole lives and have eaten every single possible food you could ever possibly imagine, probably in a vast amount of quantity over a lifetime. Like I have literally eaten enough like cheeseburgers and enough like eggs. Oh my God, eggs. I eat so many eggs. And vegetable. I mean, we've eaten so much this lifetime that you're really not going to miss out if you don't eat for 8 days.
No.
And then you can go back to eating whatever you want, but you may end up like severing some major parasitic habitual behavior. You may end up killing some fucking shit in you that you didn't even know was there that was causing things. So if you want to have the experience and turn it into your own wisdom, then we are going to like do it with you.
Yes. Well, we'll be there with you for the first.
Oh yeah, we're not going to fast again.
Next time we'll fast with you.
But yeah. If it works and you guys love it and people come out of it awesome and like have their own experience and then they become wise human beings because they've owned this piece of knowledge, then Campbell and I will do it again, and we'll just kind of do this regularly, like at least every quarter we'll do a week fast and we'll do it with you. So that'd be cool, right? We can't do one straight up.
No.
But we will do it with you straight up.
Yes.
Straight up, man.
We'll do some Zooms. So, yes, we'll get that sorted out onto the website and give you the link in the next show. And we'll be back on next Friday. So, we've been going 2 hours. Thank you all for being here.
Oh, is that it, mate?
I don't know.
You cut it off. Are we done?
300 and...
Any last opportunity to ask any questions before we go?
Yes. Any last questions before
because I don't think I'm going to do a live again.
No, you don't seem to like the laugh.
I mean, if you made me more comfortable, if I was more comfortable,
when there's
we could
better
do it better.
chairs, okay. When we get the office set up.
I mean, we just.
Kat, how you going? Kat's here.
Oh, Kat from Bosnia.
Yeah, man.
Awesome,
yeah.
Kat man. Oh, you got to come to Australia. We'd love to see you.
Oh, Cameron, hello. How you going? Cameron, of course. Maybe lots of pyramids.
Oh, Cameron. Hey, man.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, there's so many people in the chat from our wonderful trip overseas with see Tara from the Bos. Oh God, she definitely has a
She's got red hair.
Oh, is she
and
red?
White skin.
She's full of parasites. That's that woman. She needs a fast.
Tara is a clown.
She needs a jail or fasting.
All
right, Gosford show. So we've decided on November for Gosford. So I'll set up that. Also, will be definitely on the website when I put up the fasting information. So that's it. Gosford will be in November. And guys, we were tossing 2 parts of that tour. Like Campbell and I want to go to Sydney first. So we were going to do 2 tiers to the Gosford tour where you can come and join us in Sydney, which would be a luxurious experience where we'd like do some fun things, like find a nice hotel. There's a Sphinx, interesting. An Egyptian Sphinx.
Yeah,
motherfucking. This is an Egyptian trip, dude. It's like we're going to go and look at our parasitic, like, religious takeovers. It's the hieroglyphs in Gosford.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wonder how many cats.
Yeah.
From this perspective, that would be quite fascinating. And then on Sydney, and one of the beaches near Manly, there's a Sphinx.
Yeah, and other bits with apparently some writings and stuff or hieroglyphs. So we're going to go and find where that is and then check that out too.
Yeah, so if you'd like to come with us to Sydney, we're going to do a double-decker bus tour, like fucking
And
tourist
on the
nerds.
harbour.
Yeah, which is like above double-decker. It'll take us all around the city, and we can just pervert all the Tartarian buildings, so that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Then we'll go and do a, we're going to have dinner on the harbour,
yeah,
watch the
cruise,
sunset.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to Manly and do the Sphinx. So maybe there's a guy there that's an expert on the Sphinx, and we can pick his brain and make his head explode.
Yes. We can try.
Make
See worms coming out.
And then we're all going to catch the train from Sydney to Gosford, stay in a hotel there, do the show on Saturday. Hopefully Dale's in the country. Are you there, Dale? You're booked in for this one. We'll put Dale on with us in Gosford. Love to get the Tartarian Truthers if you're there. We'll book you in as well. Love to get Stephen Nevin Strong.
Yeah, we've got them still.
Yep, and then on the Sunday we'll end up going on a walking tour to the glyphs, and then we can just go nuts and check it out. And if we have someone there to talk, then that'd be great. If not, you just get us again. So yeah,
so it'll be a few days. So you can either go for one day, or you can go and stay the night, and we'll have things on for at least 2 days, or you can join us for a mini tour for 4 or 5 days, whatever it is.
Yeah. So
we'll
we'll do that. Yeah. So you can it can just be like a Tartarian day, which is just our normal event, or you can come for the weekend. But if anyone out there has been wanting to see the glyphs, like I've just been like, oh, I've got to put that on my bucket list. Let's go see the damn glyphs. Because, of course, Gympie's up the road from here and the pyramid's gone, which could have been a good thing now we think about it. I just don't know. Anyway, if you've had it on your bucket list to do the Gosford glyphs, then this could be an excellent time to do it. If you have it on your bucket list to do Sydney and the Gosford glyphs, then come and join us. We're just going to hang out and do our thing.
We are. Someone's asked, what oil do you cook in?
We cook in tallow.
Fat.
All tallow. So we actually butchered some pigs last year. This year, when did that get? No, this year. Last year. And so we rendered down the fat. So we cook in tallow. If we don't have tallow, we cook in lard. If we don't have lard, we have butter.
Oh, and then Denise just said your thoughts on eating animal flesh. So I guess that probably answers it.
Eating what?
Animals.
Oh, it's
we've struggled with it for years. Like we've both been vegan, we've both been veggie, we've both been carnivore, we've both tried everything we can. Oh, and my battery's running low, so we are going to have to stop.
No, truly, it's been the bane of my existence. I think it's the cruelest thing on this planet that we have to eat the most emotionally beautiful beings on this planet. It fucks me up. I hate it. I'm very confused by it. All we can hope is that the meat that we do eat, we love, tend to care for and bring up ourselves. And when we can't do that, we buy it from sources that do that. So the animal has the highest quality of life. But if I had a choice and we didn't have to eat meat, I would I hate it. I love animals. I freaking love animals. I love animals. I love animals. I love animals. I dream of animals.
Yeah, and it's a weird one. Like all these different blood types that seem to need different things. I mean, blood types is a whole nother rabbit hole. But yes. But thank you all for being here. So I'm getting a message on my other computer, which is actually running the live stream, not the one that you're seeing us on, and the battery's about to run out.
That's good because I'm tired now.
Yes, I'm starting to yawn as well. It's 10 o'clock here. So thank you all for joining us on our first ever and probably last ever live stream. So you could say you were here. That's all right. Live.
That's right. So we've done our most positive podcast ever. We've done our
truest or our most
our most personal podcast ever. Now we've done
our livest
podcast ever. Oh, what's next week, Carol?
Oh, what's it gonna be? Yes.
Oh, it's the simple things, isn't it? It's the simple things in life.
Yes, you're gonna have to wait, but we'll be back on Friday. We missed it by a day this week, where we've been moving literally houses and domes and gosh, everything, furniture, dogs. It's all happening.
Oh, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Oh, man. Oh, my God. We actually had to buy baby gates today not for a baby, but for a German Shepherd, for Sherlock Holmes. I was like, funny. That was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, mental. Don't know what parasites dogs carry.
No, but he's on the hemp oil and
He's on the hemp oil, CBD oil. It's true.
CBD, he is. Yep.
All right, everyone. That was fun. Once I got comfortable, definitely much better than the other side of you, Campbell. I don't like sitting on the other side of Campbell. Doesn't work for me at all. I don't know what that was. It wasn't good. Don't do it. Don't sit on the other side of Campbell.
She doesn't want to sit on my right side. Right? She doesn't want me to be right all the time. That's what it is. Jeez.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for bearing with us because that first half an hour was kind of shy from me. Sorry. And yes, I'm going to have a great birthday on Monday.
Yes. So, yes, make sure you go on Facebook if you're there and wish her a happy birthday on Monday. And, yes, we will see you next Friday for another first of something, but you're going to have to tune in to find out what. And thank you, massive thank you to everyone who, donated. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for everyone who's been here in the chat talking. We love you all. You're all awesome, and we hope to see you at one of our live events soon.
And next week, like by Friday, I would have gone nuts on this pyramid connection, being evil, parasitic, bastard energy.
I know, right? I know. I can see the next thumbnail now, like the June worm with a pyramid on
That's
its head.
right. That's right. All right, I'm going to do that right now.
All right, guys. We love you all, and we'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Stay awesome. Bye for now.
Bye.
Oh, hang on. Let me do this. Oh my God. Hang on. We're still here. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye
say
for
something.
now. See you guys.